Hey everyone, today I want to show you how to work with layers. So we're going to do a little exercise. So I'm going to create new, click on letter just to make it a size. And that's just a regular letter size, 8.5 by 11. Doesn't really matter what the color mode is. I'm going to make it RGB though anyway. And I'm going to go ahead and hit create file. So I have a blank document here. Now, a couple things you need to know about. This is your layers panel over here on the side. And right now I have nothing on it. If I didn't want to use this layer, I could lock it. So it's there and I can see it, but it'll not be editable. I can also make it invisible. And when I have more than one layer, so if I click here, I've now created two layers. Both of them are completely blank. I can take these layers and I can, if I hold it down, I can reorder them. It looks like I put this layer inside the other layer though, actually. This is a little tricky. Let me make this one come down, and again, I'm going to just hover over, and now it's two separate layers. Okay, so I can reorder them. I think I can even rename them, all kinds of things. And if I slide over, see like that, I can delete the layer. Bye-bye. All right, so let's put something on the layer so we can see what happens. I'm going to grab, just to get started, a rectangle. And I think I'm going to make it a perfect square by holding down on my shortcuts key. So you see I get a perfect square. So I'd like you to make a perfect square by doing that. And it's just like everything else. This is a vector, right? So if I wanted to, I could come over here and decide, well, I wanted to have a fill. So I made it a red fill. And right now I have a stroke of black. Fine, no problem. And I can make that stroke, maybe I'll make the stroke blue. Maybe I'll make the stroke, this you already know, a little thicker. Okay, no problem. And I can see if I click on my layer, there it is. Now here's the cool thing about this. Let's say I took this shape and I hit the little plus right here. It now shows me I've made two of these. So if I click and drag, I get a second one. So let's change that color just so we can differentiate between the two a little bit easier. I'll make this one red with a stroke, and see, easy, and then maybe I'll modify that, okay? So I can change the layer order. So if I wanted one of these to be in front of the other, I can do that. I can make them invisible like I showed you before. And if I lock this, the red rectangle is locked. So if I go ahead and select, it only selects what is not locked. I can also lock the entire layer so that way, if I try to edit anything else on the board, I can do that. I can compress this layer and I can lock the whole layer too, or make the whole layer invisible. All right, simple. So now that I have that, let's unlock this layer, and I'm going to make, in addition to that, let's make some basic shapes. And again, just so you get used to knowing how to do this, I'm going to make, again, a perfect circle this time. So again, instead of something, I don't want a crazy ellipse. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I just want you to understand how to use the shortcuts tool. So I'm going to grab that. And again, differentiate, make it a different color, give it a different stroke. Maybe change the stroke size, your choice. That's up to you. Make this a little thinner. All right, and there's my ellipse. And again, just so you kind of get used to knowing how to do this, if I select this ellipse and move it around, great. And if I hit the plus key, I can do that. You can also, of course, just delete it. And then there's two ways to delete something, right? So I can click on the image itself. I don't know why it's not letting me delete it here. There it is. So I could click on it and delete it that way, or I could slide this over and delete the layer over here by doing that. Let's bring that back. Okay, so it's duplicated. And again, I am changing the a couple different settings on this just to kind of differentiate. And I'm going to deliberately have some of these. So let's make this ellipse be underneath like that. Now, if I want to change the size of this ellipse, this is important. If I just drag from the corner, I can change its size, but you see it's warping it all kinds of different ways. So instead, what you do is you press again on the shortcuts toolbar, and it will constrain the proportions as long as you press on that. The trick here is that you have to let go here first before you let go of here, because if you, let me show you, if I let go of here first and then I keep moving, it's going to warp it. But if I press there and then I let go, problem solved. So I'd like you to change the size so that each of these ellipses is a different size. And let's make the same thing happen with a rectangle. So let's make each rectangle a slightly different size. So again, grab that. And oopsie, and I pressed the wrong button there. So what you should have is a big circle, big rectangle, little rectangle, and make sure everything is touching or overlapping so it shows that you're understanding how to play with the layers. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to do some more complex stuff with it, but that is the starting point.